Welcome into another video here at CMG Studios. Today I'm joined by Equack.
Hello.
Joined by Hugo, commonly known as Hugo, and we are here today to create what we think will be the World Finals tier list. Hope you enjoy.
We will start with Reconic. It's Asian team. They come after Nova and they replace Nova because they can come on World. We don't know a lot for me, and what I have seen for me, it's a D. It's maybe the worst team of the world team, so the worst of the best team of the world, if we can say this. And I will put on D. I don't know. What do you think, guys?
Your thoughts on that, Hugo?
Uh, we don't hear Hugo, I think. Or
Did we lose him?
I don't know. I see this. Uh,
Hugo, are you muted?
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
Yep.
This set,
Yep,
my
now
set is all over the place. Sorry. Okay. Considering that they have one player playing from home, the connection issues as well is also something to take into account. So there may be like delay, and I don't know. Since they've only been added to this competition recently, they might not have had as much time to prepare for it. So I think, yeah, I'd put them maybe D tier.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you guys said. So 100% D tier.
Yeah.
We will continue with AQM. So it's Latam team. I think they was first on their region, and they are pretty good. Like for me, it's A or B. I don't really know. What do you think?
I mean, they have Dog is a really strong player. They're not as consistent a team, but they can really pop off sometimes. And I know Charlie knows a fair bit about them. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, considering that I pay a lot of attention to that region because of our Brazilian team, and obviously we came in as the number 2 seed, heavily favored to be the number 1 seed, and AQM definitely did a good job proving that they were the number 1 seed. So in my opinion, though, I still think that they're having draft issues. I've watched a lot of their scrimmages against some of the EU teams as of late, and I don't feel as if they're playing at the same caliber and skill level as they were several months ago. So having said that, I still think that they should be in the B tier. So I would agree with Equack.
Yeah, I agree with that. B seems a good place to put them.
I will put like this. Are we following with a team, the Brazilian team? So
The B or team, I think we should do next, considering there are few between AQM. So personally, maybe there's a tiny bit of bias in this, but I think they're better than AQM. So I'd either put them the top of B tier or maybe even A tier.
I think I will. If considering we have put AQM on B, we should maybe follow them on B. Maybe
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what
Well,
to. After I don't following a lot the Latam saying, so cannot.
yeah, and again, I mean, they were the team that I followed the most throughout the year, especially once our North American team was eliminated from World's contention. So I watched them play every day, all day, and when it comes to actual live events, I mean, when you talk about a guy like Tufa, who is just an absolute what they call a land monster.
Yeah.
I think he's a step above, and in my opinion, and this is an unbiased opinion, just based on what I've seen in the pro scene, I definitely feel that they are an A tier team. In my most honest opinion, I
Yeah.
think that they'll prove that at Worlds again,
So it's
especially thinking that they've finished in the top 4 2 years in a row. So,
yeah.
in my
Also, they have
opinion,
a
they're an
lot
A
of
team.
LAN experience, so can
And they're
be.
so
Yeah.
dedicated. Like every time I get onto the game, literally no matter what hour of the day it is, I see at least 2 or 3 of them scrimming. So I think definitely going up to Worlds. Also, people saying that they can't beat Zeta and all this is actually just fueling them even more to overcome the previous champions. So I think definitely A-tier is the way to go.
Yeah, very much so.
We're following with the EU team. So I mean, they finished 6th on Europe, but I think they are underrated. Like I said before, on The Voice, like they can outdraft a lot of people. Maybe people don't think the same, but I will put maybe on A too, like following the Brazil team. Like I think
Yeah.
it's one of the best underdog we
Yeah.
can have.
Like they're new to our org, but already just watching them in casual tournaments, match arenas, all that, like they have really good synergy and they just, I don't know, I think they definitely can surprise people. Sure, they mightn't like be the best in their region, but I think they're definitely in contention with some of the top teams at Worlds.
So
Yeah, and
I will
I would kind of agree with you guys too. I've been able to watch them scrimmage a lot, and I've learned a lot about them since they joined. And one thing that I like to note is that Philip, as their coach, since he joined the team along with Euro, uh, I mean, they have just been absolutely destroying people with their drafts and their skill levels. So, I mean, I'll agree with you guys on that one as well. I think A-tier is a fair spot for them.
we have Stamina Esport now, so NA team. For me, they played very very well. So I'm probably put on A, but I don't know. What do you think, guys? I maybe Hugo
They're
is
very,
more.
I don't know, like just seeing them at the MSI this year, they're like, sure, sometimes they're a bit hit and miss when it comes to monthlies and things like that, but they really are like land demons, I think. They get so fueled up for the games and like they, especially since they're like, they've been around a good while, they know what they're doing. Like, now, sure, they are missing a player. Is it Sands? I think can't come, but Fade is equally good, and we know that from what we've seen when he was signed to CMG. So, like, I don't know where to place them, but they definitely be high up on this tier list.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I would
for
agree.
me,
I think they've. Go ahead, Ekpek.
I feel like STMN, Stamina, when they want to win, they win, and when they don't want to win, they don't win. Like the last monthly, they need to win, and they destroy everyone. And the other, I feel like there was, oh, we are chilling, we are almost qualified, and the other team catch up them, and there was, oh, okay, we need to try hard, so we win the monthly, and so it's maybe for this I will put on A, and they do really great also online. So I'll let
Yeah, and I
you.
think they've been one of the hottest teams in NA as of late. You know, with ESL and all these other, Queso wins and all these other things, like you said, the monthly finals. I think they're a team that you could potentially put in the S tier, but I think you're right that the inconsistencies there can also play a
Yeah,
factor with them. And also the loss of Sands at Worlds is a big one because they've played together most of the year. So uh, I would agree that they would probably be at the top of that A tier list. Yeah.
yeah, top of A.
So we start with Navi. We continue with Navi. The only one Ukrainian team on this wall. After the the region was closed, they catch up a lot on Europe, and they do really great. They have a lot of interesting draft also. Like they love play tanks, they love play everything. So I feel like it will be a good opponent. I don't know really what forms they have now, because on the last tourney it was like not bad, not very good. So for me, I will put on B. But I know last year they do amazing on World, but they never go on LAN. So I don't know how they will be online, you know. So it's more for this I will put on B than other thing, you know.
Yeah, like they're a huge org and they've got tons of backing. Like you can't go into any Twitch chat without seeing walls of Navi. But like just from what I've seen of them, sure, like they can catch people off with their drafts, but I've seen them scrimming the odd time, and I don't know. I don't think they're gonna get too far in this tournament. Like, sure, they have a few good plays, they can catch people out on draft, but as a team, and Equok, did you say they hadn't been to a LAN before?
Yeah, I think they never go online before. Like
Yeah. So
the last year they was on bootcamp because they cannot go on Romania,
yeah.
and I think then don't go on other land.
So they'll be lacking experience there as well. Charlie, what
Maybe.
do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I've been able to watch them play a lot since we, brought on our EU roster. And the whole, like you said, in all the chats and everything, Navi Nation, I mean, they have a huge fan base and a great organization and things like that, and great players. But I think their inconsistencies will, more than likely have them fall a little short. So I would agree. I think they fall into that B category with potential of actually being higher depending on the day. So I would agree with B.
Yeah,
Good
I'd say
places.
behind them.
No, we have replay Totem. So at the start of the year, there was not really good, not really bad, but since Joker joined them, they are amazing. I have
Yeah.
like really no word for tell this. Maybe it will be my first team on S tier. Like for me, uh, 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 I feel like they will maybe destroy the world. I don't want to jinx them, but it's
Yeah.
one of my best up on Europe, Like they draft very good, they play very good. I have nothing
I
more to say.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, I saw some statistic about their win rate after Joker joined, and it was huge, like a massive increase in their win rate. And also, they're already over preparing in France. They've already had their boot camp, so I think they're just well prepared for this. They have a strong team, and recently they've been playing very well. So I think you're right to put them on the S tier.
Yeah.
Yep, and I think I would have to agree as well. I mean, like you said, you can't discount the fact that since Joker joined that team, arguably a top three best player in the world, they have absolutely popped off.
Yeah.
I know that Joker's teammates don't get enough credit, for the support that they provide to him too. But yeah, I agree. I think they're our first S tier team for sure.
Mm. Now we have SK, so I think it's the third spot on Europe. I mean, they're land demon.
Yeah.
With the recent land they get second on MSI. They get first on Chaos Cup, if we can count this. They get second on ESL. I mean, it's maybe the player who has played the most on LAN and Brawl Star. So, I mean, I will or put them on A height, the first place on A, or on Ace. I don't really know. What do you think? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, especially Semantic at all the lands, he's just fired up, ready to go. And they have such a strong team. IKEOS on the Rico is just like unstoppable. So unless we see them, unless we see other teams like strategically banning certain brawlers and just completely targeting what SK can play, I think yeah, SK deserve top of A for me.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
uh, for me, I've gotten to watch SK play a lot again, as I mentioned earlier, since we joined EU, and I agree. And Semantic is arguably one of my favorite players that's not associated with CMG, and I think he's relatable to like a Tufa or a Zulan at a LAN where he brings a lot of hype and a lot of
yeah.
just great gameplay. However, I have noticed a lot of inconsistencies with their drafting, and I think that could play a very big role as to how they succeed. So I agree with the A tier. However, I don't agree at the top of the A tier. I would put them somewhere probably between the CMG teams or
Okay.
something along those lines. But I think they have potential to do great things. But I really worry about their drafting lately. But I
Okay.
also believe in Semantic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Starlight, if I pronounce good. It's the only uh, I don't know how we say this region. CSA region. Uh, they win every monthly. Uh, it's look like they don't have opponent on their region. Like the problem with them, it's like we don't really know how they play really, you know. Like I see them
Yeah.
play Frank on Ace against Shelly and Colette and win. So I
Yeah.
don't know if we can say they are so good or if the other people are worse. But I don't really know. I will put on C or on B, but I feel like I cannot put them on B because I know how the other team play and against how they have played, and I don't know really how they play. So and
Yeah.
with the LAN on Emi side, they get eliminated on first round. So I don't really know. I will put on C for me,
Yeah.
but I think it can be an underdog forward because we have no clue how they are good. So.
I think C is a good place to put them. Like, I don't really know much about the team, but I have seen some of their wacky comps. Because, like, in each different region, there's different metas and everything, but they really don't have much competition in their region. So, going into Worlds, we'll just have to see how they play. But, like, from what I've seen so far, I think C is a good tier to put them.
Yeah, and
Okay.
one thing to mention too is they also have a player that their visa was rejected and will not be there. So I think that's another thing to take into consideration. And I agree, we haven't been able to see them compete at a high level against some of these other, very competitive teams. So I think C is a fair spot to put them. They could come in there and shock the world because they haven't played against these other teams. And as Hugo mentioned, the meta is different, so different in each region that there is a chance that they could come in there with their wacky drafting and just throw people off and really shock the world. You just never know. So I think they're anywhere between B and D. So I would say C is a pretty good spot for them. I agree.
Yeah.
We have Team Queso, no. So for me, like the recent months of Team Queso was not really well. Like they lose a lot, and they don't. For me, they don't feel confident. And for example, I have lose a lot when I was on esport, and sometimes when you lose, you just want maybe go next and think about other things, you know. And I don't know how they will be motivated for world and how will be on their mood, you know. Like if they will be very confident on something, and in Brawl Stars, it's very important to be confident. So
Yeah.
for me, with the recent result, sorry, I will put on C because I don't know, I don't see them win, so I cannot put
And
them before other team, you know, like, and it just with the recent result, you know, like.
I think I'd actually have to even drop them down a tier from what, like, I've seen them play. I know they still are the best of all the teams in the world, and they're here. But like from what I've seen, they go on losing streaks. They don't do well. Like even like if Reconic had their full team, I'd even put them below Reconic, to be honest. Like I'm being
Wow.
harsh, but that's how I'd feel about it. Like
Uh,
I don't know. I'd put
uh,
them ahead of Reconic now because their last player is overseas and he's not at the tournament. So I'd put them first in the D tier. I don't know. I just haven't seen enough good stuff from them. That's just my opinion, though. I'm harsh about it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that you're wrong. Uh, if you look at what they did in ESL, which our friend Trav pointed out quite a bit with Queso, is they were just they stunk. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I think they didn't win one match
yeah,
in ESL, and I think they definitely have had their struggles. But I do think that as of late, they have somewhat turned that around. Some of their matches in ESL were fairly close. So I would have to disagree with you a little bit, Hugo, and I would probably put them at the bottom of the C tier in my
okay.
opinion. But I do understand your points, and what they've proven lately has not been great. However, they have shown some signs of life, and
Yeah,
look, they are a top 16 world, and as I always say, anybody can beat anybody at any time. So I think C is a pretty fair spot for them at the
yeah.
bottom of that.
Like they have talent, and of course they made it to
Yeah.
Worlds, which is a great thing. But I just haven't seen much promise from them,
Yep.
at least recently. So that's why I put them on D. But like I do agree, C is a good spot for them as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the only problem with them, it's like maybe their mood or their confidence, you know. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I remember when I was playing against them, they was very good at the start of the year. So if they found this confidence and maybe this draft and all on the match of world, we didn't know what will happen. But for the moment, yeah, I think this is the best spot for them.
Yep. I would
Uh,
agree.
we have Tribe. I think this is Tribe NA. So I
Yeah.
think the first spot on the NA region. I will put for me on C or on A. I feel like they are more consistent than Stamina. They look like really great on stage on an event. Like maybe they don't win the last event on ESL and Colombia, but I feel like they play each time amazing on World. Last year they have eliminated SK on first round, and SK was the bigger opponent they can have on Europe, and SK destroy everyone on Europe last year. They lose against INS. No, it's Chasmac, the Brazilian team, but it was very very close, and we know what happened, and we will know talk about this again, but I feel like they are very, very, very good, and it's C or A for me. Like,
Yeah. Like, I know their team right now is Livy, Zulan, and Tyrant. Like, I know last year with Tyrant spinning, they lost. But they're a phenomenal team. Like, Zulan brings so much energy. And, like, in my eyes, he'd be like the main player, like, who kind of brings the team together. As Livy pops off on certain brawlers, some he's not as strong on, but the ones he does pop off on, like, he's insane. That's what the casters were saying. They said if they target is Livy and ban the ones he's good at, Tribe mightn't stand as good a chance. But like they're still an extremely strong team. And Corey's an awesome player as well. And I know he's been on the bench recently, but he's still like the brains behind the team. He's still like helping them with draft. He's a very smart player. He said it himself. He's not as great actually playing it, but he knows so much game mechanics and all that. So and they're going into it very confident. I've been speaking to them. They're very confident. So I think where would I put them? Yeah, I'd
it's this
actually put them
problem.
ahead of Stamina on the A tier.
Okay. What do you think, Charlie?
Well, I mean, again, this is a team that I got to pay a lot of attention to all year with our NA team competing with them and going to double match point with them in monthly finals time and time again. It seemed we had to play them in the first round, and they were able to edge us out. I agree that Zooland brings just a whole different perspective to LAN events. So I think that gives them a little bit of an edge. I also agree with the Corey factor. He's been around the game a long time. He has helped as Livy develop his game skills a lot. So I agree with that. I think the A tier is there, and I think you could put them and Stamina, if you could put them in the same exact position, that's what I
Yeah.
would do, because I think they're both very similar teams. Stamina edged them out at the last ESL event, but I think overall I would probably run with Tribe there. Yeah.
Yeah, consistency wise as well. Like they're
Yeah.
both very equal, but I think Tribe's just more consistent. So if they bring that to Worlds, I see them getting quite far.
Yeah. I would agree.
We have Tribe AU, no? So it's the first spot of of Europe. So they all the years they was very very consistent. They get Lena a few months ago, and they do really great. I think with him, I'm just a bit scared because they don't really they qualify for ESL, but like it was really a lot of how we said a lot of things need to happen for they qualify, and they don't get the on their end. The problem was people need to win and lose or all the thingy. And for people who go world, I'm a bit scared, like because there was top 1
Yeah.
and Europe, there was so consistent. And now they show a bit of weakness, if we can say this. I don't know if we can say this, but I will
Yeah.
put them maybe on A because they was very good and they are very good. But I'm just a bit scared because of the ESL recently. You know, like
Yeah.
it just
Honestly, I'd actually put them the far end of A, so either just ahead of SK or behind SK, because like a while back they're like amazing team. They had such good mechanics. They just played really well. Tom, I know he doesn't. People always like say Tom isn't the main player in the team. They always think, oh well, Drage pops off. He's carrying the team. Tom works like behind. He like just glues the team together, and he makes awesome plays that people don't really pick up on. Then they also have Lenane, who's also very good. I don't know. So like they haven't shown as much promise recently, but if they can like tune it and like bring their best game to Worlds, I'd still put them on the A tier.
I mean, for Tom, a
Yeah,
lot of people, yeah, sorry, talk about he don't carry or something, but he play all
Yeah,
the annoying brawler and he plays so well, like perfectly with this brawler. And I think we need a Tom on your team, you know, like he's not here for make the
Flash-
shy move or the flashy move, you know,
yeah,
for people talk about him. He just like here for help this team and play. Maybe for him it's not bored, but I know when I play Tick or something like this, I'm annoying, you know, and he play this like perfectly for this team. So I think people need to
recognize.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think Lenane is just such a key component to that team. When I watch them scrimmage a lot, he just does things that as like I don't want to really call him like a support player, but he kind of fills every role that's needed, and is always there to support. It seems some of the things I see him pull off are just very impressive. And of course, Tom is Tom, and the team as a whole is very good. And for all those reasons, I think I would put them also in the A tier, just above SK. Um, and again, I think if you could put those two in the same exact spot, I
Yeah,
would. But I think just Lenane, the Lenane factor for me, I think is a big addition for them, and for that reason, I would put them just a smidge above SK.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. Lena addition is something, you know, like Lena's do thing you don't know how he do, you don't know how he do this move,
Yeah,
but every time he will do the move for not a lot of people see, and I don't know. Like,
yeah, and I don't think Drage gets enough credit either. I think when he's at the top of his game, he's a phenomenal player. There's no
he's
question.
he's phenomenal, but I think he gets the most recognition from the team. I think Tom is the one working like to hold it together, and I don't think people because Drage is known for his flashy plays.
That's
If there's
true. That's
one
very true.
person on the team that does it, it's Drage. But people
Yeah.
don't notice that the reason he's able to make those flashy plays is because Tom's holding down his lane or controlling them in a certain way. So, but yeah, I agree. A on that tier is good. So let's move on to Vatra. Where do we think they should go?
I see a lot of people who think Vatra is B, C, or D, but I mean, for me, they are on A. They play amazing. They have amazing draft. I hear a lot of people who told me Totem should be careful about Vatra because they are very good. And if they qualify before STMN from stamina, it's not. I don't know how we said, but it's not. Oh, sorry, but it's not for nothing, you know. They do something great and they was second on their region. So
Yeah.
for me, I will put them on A, you know. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually agree. The team itself as well, like they always seem so happy when they win, and when they lose, they just learn from their mistakes. And I think just they really can like make a huge difference. They can pop off in certain scenarios. They're just consistent as well. And I just really like the team. Like Juan Carlos, Kane, they're just like great players by themselves. So when you put them all together, they just work really well. So I agree. I don't think I'd go as far as saying they're ahead of SK, but I think yeah, they still deserve to be on the A tier.
Yeah, I would disagree with putting them below SK. I think that they should
Really?
be up possibly one of the highest ranks in the A tier. This is a team that I got to watch a lot this year and kind of grow. And let's not forget about their coach, Peter Jack, who without him, I don't think they would be nearly as good as they are. Now, that's not taking any away from their skill, because RBM, Juan, and Payne, they're phenomenal players. Obviously,
Yeah.
RBM known for the tank player, and Juan can literally play anything. So, I mean, to me, I would put them right up there, at the front of the A list, maybe somewhere between Tribe and Stamina, even. Um, I think that they are one of the most underrated teams going into Worlds, and I think they have the potential to really do great things. Again, anyone can beat anybody at any given time, but I'm a believer in what I saw them do all year, and with their coaching and drafting, I think they have a slight edge over more of the teams than not, in my opinion.
Definitely. They can just come in and shock everyone because they're not really
Mhm.
recognized as a really strong team, but they
Yeah.
definitely can surprise some people. Moving on to, is it Zest? I think the name is. I am not familiar at all with these guys, so I'll let you two
Same.
talk.
I think I will let Charlie talk because he
Charlie,
know more
it's all
than
on
us the
you.
Latam scene, you know.
Yeah, it's on you because I literally I was
I
like,
would
is
tell
that a
you,
typo for Zeta? I didn't know which
well,
team it was.
I would tell you guys that they were another team that got somewhat lucky in the qualifying and clinched that last spot. I think I'm almost positive that they clinched their spot literally in the last monthly final. So the point standings there in Latam South were so ridiculously close that to me, I would probably make them in the D tier with a potential of possibly C. But for me, I'd put them at the top of the D tier just because they haven't really done a whole lot to solidify themselves as a team that can be placed higher, in my opinion.
Not really much recognition either in the
Yeah.
community. Like, I was
I
like,
don't.
when I was,
For be honest, I don't know who are the player of this, so I
yeah,
cannot talk about them. You know,
Yeah.
like
I was
Yeah.
researching the teams and I was like, I didn't even know this team was in the World Finals. That's how, like, they just slip under the radar. So maybe
Yep.
they can just, I don't know, come out and shock everyone. But I'd say they're going to be, honestly, brutally honestly, I think they're going to be knocked out first round. Just saying it.
uh,
Fair enough.
we have the big monster for the end. So Zeta 1, the Stenpo, Kenji, and Moya Goku team. So it's the last winner of one of the last winner of World, the last winner of MSI, the first on East Asian region. I mean, if I will put on S, no one will roast me, I think, and no one
Nope.
will be disagree with me.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
have
all
to.
that needs to be said. Top of the S
Yeah,
tier, 100%.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
and I
we could be biased and say no, our
yeah.
teams are gonna get through them.
I mean,
Realistically,
I
too
think it's
strong.
the same for Zeta Zero. Like they have two world champion. They don't qualify on MSI just because Zeta One qualify and only one team can go. I think they have a big revenge to take from MSI, you know. And I know the boss team are very very competitor and want
Yeah.
more wins than maybe everyone here.
In
And
in their region, they're very. I think they ended up like only a few points difference. They just kept.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was very
just their
close.
only competition was between the opposite team, Zeta One and
Hmm.
Zeta Zero. So like, I think our BR team could stand a chance. Like, if we show up on the day and the team is hyped, I actually think they stand a good chance. But just from going on how Zeta showed up at the MSI, it's only fair, I think, to put them top of S tier.
I think
And see, I mean, I kind of disagree with the Zeta Zero. I think, in my opinion, they should be the top of the A tier, just because of what you were saying. I don't think that they have the history as Zeta One, and I think that they're definitely much more beatable than Zeta One. But that's just my opinion. I'm obviously outnumbered here by you guys, so I'll let you go ahead and put that in the S tier.
How
I
about
don't
how
know.
about we move them behind Totem? Is
Like,
that
like, 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 like the
Perfect.
problem,
I have to
yeah, if
I
you
have to
want, we
time
put
out. Time out.
but like the problem, I think it's like the only team who beat Zeta 1 on East Asia are Zeta 0, and like you said, It was
Their only competition was each other, so
yeah,
we can't really learn much from it because they're only good as each other. So maybe if there was another big competitor in the region, we could gauge this better. But from what we've seen in their region, they topped it every time, and they were very close. So
yeah. When
yeah, we have
I'm
to go
agree.
with them.
When I look I watch East Asia. I'm like, oh, there are Zeta and Zeta 0, Zeta 1, and the other team, and the only one team cannot make a final on monthly if they face each other before, you know, like, and it's happened a lot this year. And finally, they get so close on points, so I think it's good points to put like this.
Yeah.
For end this video, I want to just say if one of these teams are on D or C, it stays one of the best team of the world. There are one of the 6 best team of the world. They are on world final, and no one is bad here. So I prefer to tell this before people won't roast us or something like this because of a tier list. I want to say thanks a lot to Charlie and Hugo to come with me for this tier list. And I hope, guys, you enjoy this video. If you want more, you can just subscribe, like, and comment. Like, we can do a lot of videos. So if you have any idea of video, you can just comment. And see you on the next one.
Peace.
Thanks for watching.